At this time, I'd like to call the meeting of the Wake County Bar Association for November to order. Robert McMillan, Bill Jocelyn, Judge Bob Farmer, Charlie Blanchard, Wright Dixon, Charles Young, Wade Smith, Dan Blue, John B. McMillan, John M. Silverstein, Ann Reed, Ed Gaskins, Roger Smith, Carlin Poole, Al Adams, and two former members who are deceased, James K. Dorsett and J. Ruffin Bailey. Those are the former honorees of the Joseph Branch Professionalism Award. And it's now also my honor to introduce Carlin Poole, past chair or current chair of the Professionalism Award Committee and past honoree of the award in 2006, who will take over the introductions.
My happy task today is to oversee the presentation of this award to Sid and to introduce the special guests who are here in connection with that. I think Jim Branch is here, Justice Branch's son, and we always are happy to have him as a part of this. Thank him for his continued support. And then we have some special guests here to honor Sid. Rachel Eagles, Sid's wife, who many of you know, if you all would stand when I call your name. Virginia Eagles and Margaret Eagles, Sid's daughters, also Sid's secretaries from various times. Betty Tippett, Sid's longtime secretary at the Court of Appeals. 21 years, as I understand. Lisa Partridge, who's been Sid's secretary at Smith Moore for 4 years. And Crystal Bond, who's Sid's present secretary. And also here today, as a surprise to Sid, is Susan Kneaton, who is the wife of the president of Barton College. Sid has been on the board of trustees at Barton College for a number of years and served as chair of that board. So Susan, would you stand? And then all of those people fortunate enough to be working with Sid at Smith Moore Leatherwood. Now, would you all stand? The last two introductions I have are those people who are going to speak briefly about Sid before presentation of the award. Speaking first will be Judge Robert C. Hunter, who continues to serve on the Court of Appeals and who has served with Sid on the court from 1998 until Sid stepped down. And following Judge Hunter will be Judge John B. Jack Lewis, who served with Sid on the Court of Appeals and who is now serving as a temporary administrative law judge and an emergency special superior court judge. First to speak will be Judge Hunter and then Judge Lewis.
Thank you, Carla. It was an honor and a privilege to nominate Sid for this award. I think I want to read you a brief portion of the letter I submitted to the committee that determines this award. I wrote that I'm resubmitting my nomination of Sidney S. Eagles Jr. for the Joseph Branch Professionalism Award. The first time I nominated Sid, I was informed he was not eligible because he was a member of the judiciary. At that time, he was Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals. The second time I nominated Sid, I was told he was not eligible because he had become a candidate for president-elect of the Wake County Bar Association 10th Judicial District. And as you know, he later became our president. At that time, John Silverstein informed me that Sid, quote, should be a recipient of this award, just not this year. So I submitted it again, and I ended my letter with, I hope the third time is the charm. Well, Sid, you didn't need any luck because of all the many things that you've done over your distinguished career. You're certainly very deserving of this award. I want to commend to you the recent article in the November issue of the Wake Bar Flyer that Wade Smith wrote about Sid, and it's very eloquent, as Wade always does. Judge Lewis is going to make some remarks following me. We've tried to compare notes, and I'll try not to mention the things that he's going to talk about. Some of the things that we submitted on Sid's behalf, I think all of you know probably that Sid was a graduate of the Wake Forest University School of Law, and he served for 21 years on the North Carolina Court of Appeals, 6 years as our chief judge. He retired on January 31st, 2004, and as Judge Lewis and I were talking, he would certainly have been understood by all if he decided to just rest for a while. Well, he did rest for a while, 2 days. On February the 2nd, 2004, he joined the firm of Smith Moore Leatherwood. Prior to joining the Court of Appeals, Sid was a partner in the Raleigh law firm of Eagles, Hefner, and Hall. He was counsel to the Speaker of the North Carolina House of Representatives. He was Special Deputy Attorney General under 4 Attorney Generals. And he, as I think many of you know, has, and it was mentioned that he's been an adjunct professor at Campbell School of Law for, I think, over 30 years. He was a member of the faculty of the New York University School of Law for appellate judges. He has been active in his church, the Hillier Memorial Christian Church, for over 40 years. He's served in about every capacity there is there, including Sunday school teacher, deacon, elder, trustee, and chairman of the church's official board. He's been active in the Kiwanis Club of Raleigh, served as its president, and served as lieutenant governor of that Kiwanis division. He has been a member of the Board of Visitors of Wake Forest University School of Law. As you've heard, he served as chairperson of the trustees of Barton College in Wilson, formerly Atlantic Christian College. He was tapped by Governor Easley to be chairman of the Governor's Outlying Landing Field Study Group. Those letters we all saw along the highways, no OLF. And he has donated over 6 gallons of blood to the American Red Cross. Sid, when I called him today, I heard he had been sick, and I'd wondered if he maybe had given too much blood. But he is doing fine, he told me. Some of the service to the bar and relationships with the lawyer that this award is based on. You know he's been president of this fine judicial district in Wake County Bar Association. He's been vice president of the North Carolina Bar Association, a member of the National Conference of the Commissioners on Uniform State Laws, and former chairman of the North Carolina Commissioners. He's been on various committees of the ABA Appellate Judges Conference, so having served as chairman of that conference, I believe Jim Wynn is chairman of it at the present time. He is, I think for 16 years, been a member of the ABA House of Delegates and distinguished service with that fine organization. He has been on the State Judicial Council Committee, the Chief Justice's Commission on Professionalism, and the Chief Justice's Commission on Media in the Courts. And he currently chairs the Wake County Bar Association Committee on Bench Bar Relations and the North Carolina Bar Association Committee on Local Bar Services. While on the Court of Appeals, Sid authored approximately 2,000 well-reasoned opinions, none of which had a footnote. His pet peeve. And Sid, I'm tempted to add a little footnote here. about your concern over the size of the type in the briefs, but in deference to you, I'll refrain from that. He also co-authored 3 editions of the North Carolina Criminal Procedure Forms with commentary, and he co-authored the ABA Manual on Judicial Opinion Writing. He served on the Board of Editors of the Judges Journal. He has also been on received numerous awards. The Wake Forest University School of Law is its outstanding alumnus, the Campbell University's James Iredell Award, the Campbell University School of Law Professionalism Award. Sid is known for his good sense of humor, and he's friendly, and he's also known for that unique and distinguishing laugh. I have thought, in knowing Sid as long as I have and seeing how his career has just endured and how much he's contributed both while he was on the court and when he left the court. And I think that he must have got all that energy from that unique and distinguishing laugh, which some of you have heard a couple times today. Sid is definitely a role model for judges and lawyers, as well as a role model for all citizens. He has demonstrated this through his outstanding service on numerous committees involving the legal profession and those benefiting the public in general. Sid's commitment to public service is outstanding, as his desire to improve the judiciary, the legal profession, his community, and this state. Yes, Sid, you have never let up, and you're very deserving of this award. Congratulations.
My fellow lawyers and clients, it is a great honor for me to be here for this particular occasion, and especially to be back at the Wake County Bar. I was instructed by your officers that my utterances should be limited to no more than 3 to 5 minutes. But Sidney called and said he wanted me to do this, and if I could hold it to 20, it would be all right. Or 30. You all know, at least most of us know, that he was a special prosecutor. And he should know that nobody could run on about him for 30 minutes unless it were an indictment. Thanks to Alan Head and the wisdom of the North Carolina Bar, one of Sidney's and one of my favorite quotations is sent by the Bar Association, and it says, "Nothing is often a good thing to do and always a brilliant thing to say." Sidney and I both very much love that quotation and never adhere to it. Marion Bob Hunter has told you the legal side of this commemoration and the important things that have happened and the things Sidney has done for us. I will tell you part of the other side. The News and Observer announced his having been chosen for this award, and they said he was a native of Saratoga in Wilson County. Judge Charles Winberry knew about Saratoga and the Eagles' connections to various people there in a multicultural manner, but I will leave that to Sidney to tell you. Sidney is no more a native of Saratoga or Wilson County than he is of Bear Grass or Lizard Lick. I am a true provincial. I am a provincial innocent from Pitt County, from Farmville. Sidney is an urban youth. He is from Asheville, Buncombe County. He did grow up in Wilson County, and he has deep roots in that good earth. He had more roots in that good earth until they took his tobacco allotment. He has been a zealous devotee of his earthly trinity, Wake Forest University, the Democratic Party, and the Disciples of Christ Church, known as the Christian Church. He also has another trinity to whom he is even more devoted, and which devotion is certainly reciprocated. Rachel and Virginia and Margaret, who are here. Behind every great man, it is said, there is a greater woman. And in this case, there are 3 greater women. The 40th book, the Green Book, the 40th edition of the Court of Appeals history is true for the most part. Sidney edited his, and so it's not all exactly kosher. But in it, it says that Judge Eagles, Sidney Eagles at the time, was, quote, reviser of statutes. Well, those of us who worked with him on the Court of Appeals, and those of you who have read his opinions and practiced law with him, are convinced that he has continued to be a reviser of statutes. And sometimes he was even a reviser of case law. But we have the Supreme Court to straighten that out, because whoever is last in the appellate law is right. You all know his many qualities, of which he reminds us frequently, and some of you know that he does not enjoy rising with the sun. The early bird may catch the worm, but Sidney's always been convinced that there will be another one around somewhere. It may be that Psalm 127 is his text. It reads, and I quote, "It is but lost labor that ye haste to rise up early. And so late take your rest and eat the bread of carefulness. So he giveth his beloved sleep." I once asked him why he was so willing to accept a particularly onerous task and do it voluntarily, and he replied, "Lewis, it's another arrow in my quiver. Another arrow in my quiver." Well, back to Psalm 127. "Like as the arrows in the hand of the giant, even so are the children and the accomplishments of a good man. Happy is the man that has his quiver full of them." Some of you may know that Sidney administered the oath of office to me when I was elected to the Court of Appeals. We are related. One of his grandfather's brothers married one of my grandfather's brother-in-law's sisters. You got that. He related that to a newspaper reporter who was at the oath, administration of oath. The next day, the matter was written up, and then the reporter said, "Judge Eagles and Judge Lewis are related by a distant marriage." We shared the trials and near tribulations of primaries and second primaries. As Wellington said of Waterloo, they were near-run things, but we survived them. My swearing-in was on the 2nd of January, 1989. He came to Farmville and administered that. And another matter that most of you know about Colonel Sidney Smith Eagles, United States Air Force, is that he is no spendthrift. He's not one. He's not one to let a dime, or even a farthing, go by. So he told me, since my oath was to be taken on the 2nd of January, that I should get sworn in privately on the 1st of January, so as to not miss a day's pay. And so I enlisted a cousin of ours, whose name was Edna Earl Baker, or Edna Earl Lewis Baker. She was the first female mayor of Farmville and could administer oaths. And so I got Edna Earl, and Edna Earl Sidney's about 2 inches taller than Edna Earl was. Neither of them shy in the least. Commanding figures, I would say, without any hesitation. So on the 1st, Edna Earl agreed to come out to our family home place, and my family and boys, and we were all there. And so I said, "Edna Earl, here it is. Here's the oath." And we all gathered around in front of my grandfather's portrait, and she said, "Jack, get on your knees." Well, I said, "Edna Earl, why do you want me?" She said, "Just get on your knees." Well, I had to have the oath, so I I got on my knees, and she administered the oath, and she said, I said, "Why did you want me to get on my knees? You notice that's not necessary." She said, "Jack, I always wanted a judge to look up to me." And now I've had one. Now, Sidney did not require me to kneel. He didn't have to. I've always looked up to Sidney for friendship and guidance and wisdom, and I do now. Congratulations, Sidney.
It is my great honor to present the Joseph Branch Professionalism Award in 2008 to Sidney Smith Eagles, Jr.
Thank you very much. I am off my feed a bit today. The technical name for what I have is the crud, but fortunately I'm taking medication which makes it look like I just returned from 2 weeks in Florida. So it's an ill wind that blows no man good. To Judge Hunter, I would say that truly persistence is a virtue, and I thank you. I was very impressed and pleased when you first suggested it long years ago, and very, very appreciative. Thank you very much. And to my distant cousin Jack, I knew when I asked you to do this that I was taking my life, indeed my reputation in my hands, but you came through, and I thank you very much. I also want to thank Wade Smith for a truly wonderful article in the Bar Flyer, and the thing that the three presenters, Wade, Judge Hunter, and Judge Lewis, have in common is that their reports are so glowing that my father would have been impressed and my mother would have believed them. I regret that neither of them are alive today to enjoy it. I certainly hope that my wife was paying attention. I need all the help I can get. This is an humbling award. I feel extremely honored to be in the company of those names that were recited. Those people have been friends and many mentors and guideposts of ethics and professionalism for me and for you. And I'm very grateful to join their company, and I pledge that I will make every effort not to discredit you all. I'm particularly, too, impressed that my colleagues from Smith Moore Leatherwood, and see, I did say it. I thought I was going to get it mixed up, but I didn't. Smith Moore Leatherwood, there. It has not been easy changing from Smith Moore, which I've known for years and years. But I feel very fortunate to be with such a company of splendid lawyers and highly ethical people on every count. And it has been my honor to be there almost 5 years. I come away from this ceremony and this presentation and the nice things that people have said convinced of one thing for sure. As I listen to all this, I have some very, very fine friends. And boy, I must be getting really, really old. It's my honor to be here. I will not debate with anyone the merits of the committee's choice, but I will defend to the death their right to make it. Thank you very much.
don't forget this. Sid, congratulations. We're adjourned.
Some of that could be left unsaid.
Some mothers I've seen might never be mean. They might never be cross, try to be boss, they wouldn't do. 'Cause no